Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! This week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Now, a lot of states here in America are starting to open their businesses up, and here in Louisiana, we're actually starting at the end of this week. You know, it's all great and everything, but be careful out there. I mean, even though businesses are opening up, that does not mean that we're going back to life before this all got started. I mean, we're still in a global pandemic, folks. I mean, there's still people that are testing positive for COVID-19, and there are still people who are dying from it. And we just have to be very mindful of that and not, again, go back to life before this all got started. Here's the thing. If you want to go out, wear a mask and stay as far away from people as possible. I mean, it's no tall order. It's not that hard. You're not walking on coals or walking on pins and needles. You're protecting yourself and you're protecting others. And if you decide to stay at home, if you're not comfortable going out, stay at home. I mean, that's just all to it. Here's the thing. There has been a lot of disrespect during this pandemic. I mean, with all these stay-at-home orders, I'm seeing so many posts on social media on folks blasting each other because of what they choose to want to do. Look, the only way we're going to get through any level of adversity is through love. We just have to remember that we're all God's children, and therefore we have to act as one and stop acting stop being on different sides of a fence. You know, it's just like this sign that I see outside of certain folks' houses whenever I'm going somewhere. Be kind. And be kind, that means not just be kind to yourself, but be kind to others. Respect other people's differences. Respect other people's decisions. Don't put people on blast just because their decision is different from yours. I mean, that's the one thing that's so great about life. Everyone is different. So therefore, respect their differences. Alright, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked, what planet is the Superman villain Brainiac from? Well, the correct answer is Colu, and that's spelled C-O-L-U. And 6 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their name's been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Lynn Smith from Cincinnati, Ohio. So congratulations, Lynn. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Venom question. True or false? Venom is immune to Ghost Rider's penance stare. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, now Keith Adams from West Monroe, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one's a little different. This one features a very annoying character from the fifth dimension going up against one of the most dangerous characters in the Marvel Universe, who happens to be a living plant. Representing DC, we have Mrs. Spitlick. And representing Marvel, we have Groot. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Mixie Spitlick versus Groot. Mixie Spitlick possesses reality manipulation, teleportation, isn't bound by third-dimensional laws, can alter 3D laws in a manner that resembles magic, the ability to break the fourth wall along with retconning abilities, near omnipotence, near omnipresence, and near omniscience. Groot possesses superhuman strength, stamina, endurance, durability and senses, immortality, regenerative healing factor, elasticity and plant manipulation. Who will win? There will be less fighting and more comedy. By the way, in the comics, Groot now speaks in third-person English. Mixie will simultaneously teleport around Groot. The latter becomes increasingly frustrated and begins to attack the former. Groot yells, "Be still so Groot can destroy you!" Mixie then replies, "Hey, whatever happened to you only saying 3 words? Let's do something about that." Mixie then magically changes Groot's vocabulary to, "Yeah, you guessed it." Groot becomes even more frustrated and starts back to attempt to attack Mixie. He eventually grabs Mixie until the latter teleports free. This goes on for some time until Superman shows up. Only he knows how to stop Mixie. Superman asks Groot, "Is he giving you a problem?" Groot replies, "I am Groot." Superman then says, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." Superman then says, "Mixie, you need to go away." Mixie replies, "Oh, come on, Supes, I was only having fun with him." Superman then demands, "Now!" Mixie then concludes, "Oh, fine." Kel-Tip zicks him. Mixie then goes back to the fifth dimension, and Groot goes back to speaking third-person English. Superman, unaware of Groot speaking third-person English, starts speaking in Groot's native Flora Colossus tongue. Groot replies, "You idiot! Groot can speak English just fine!" Superman then concludes, "Oh, sorry, my bad." That concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, thank you Keith Adams for that fight, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll have another one for next week. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are 2 things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking. The first one is the news that a Spider-Man 2099 TV show is coming to Disney+. Now, for those of y'all who don't know who Spider-Man 2099 is, let me explain. First off, it's not Peter Parker. It's actually the scientist by the name of Miguel O'Hara. And he becomes Spider-Man, or the Spider-Man of 2099 that is, when he ends up accidentally writing half of his DNA to that of a spider. And he ends up getting powers that are even better than Peter Parker's. Peter ends up shooting artificial webbing from web cartridges, but Miguel O'Hara shoots organic webs from his forearms. And then also he has night vision. That among many other powers. Now he can't stick to walls. He has to use talons from his suit in order to stick to walls. And I honestly can't wait for this series to come out. Now, the whole thing with Spider-Man, the whole creation, all got started back in 1992 when a line of books came out, and it lasted. And this series lasted, I think, for 3 years. And it was created by writer Peter David and artist Rick Leonardi, and became a favorite among Marvel fans. And I didn't really warm up to it at first, but then over time I did, and I really can't wait for this TV show to come out. I mean, given all the Spider-Verse stuff that's happened, especially Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and all that, I believe Miguel O'Hara needs his own show. So I can't wait to watch. All right, now the second thing is that Michael Douglas confirms that info on a third Ant-Man movie is coming soon. Now, of course, Michael Douglas plays Dr. Hank Pym in Ant-Man and Ant-Man the Wasp. And there's a third Ant-Man movie, and of course, it's going to be directed by Peyton Reed, and it's going to star Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. And I really can't wait to watch. I mean, I enjoyed the first two, and I really love what Peyton Reed does, and yeah. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics up off this week. All right, first up is Batman the Outsiders number 12. The Green Lantern Season 2, number 3. The Flash, number 753. Star, number 1. Star, number 2. Star, number 3. And here's some oldies but goodies. All new Hawkeye number 1. The Invincible Iron Man Volume 3 number 22. The Spectacular Spider-Man number 186. And finally, Uncanny X-Force number 33. Alright, that's 10, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 9,978. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. True or false? Venom is immune to Ghost Rider's penance stare. Everyone who answers correctly will be in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Lynn Smith from Cincinnati, Ohio, who won a free tee on this week's episode. Alright, with that count, I'm now 22 away from 10,000 comics. And, there's supposed to be new books coming out for Marvel, not this week, but next week, and hopefully that'll cause me to get closer to the milestone. Don't forget, I'm going to, on the week leading up to when I'm supposedly supposed to get to the milestone, I'm going to post a picture of the shirt inside a garment bag, and your job is to like it. And I'll reveal the shirt when I get to the 10,000 milestone. And I'm going to draw 10 names. And if I draw your name, you will win a shirt just like the one when I get to the milestone. And then also, next month, I'm bringing it back, the Summer of Superheroes, and I'm calling it the Summer of Superheroes 2. And it's going to be a regular staple on the show every year. And it's going to be a little different this year. I'm going to pay tribute to all the men and women who are healthcare workers. Whether it be doctors, nurses assistants, or even first responders. If you're one of those, the entire summer is dedicated to you. All right, I just want to say this. Let's just be kind to each other. Let's respect the differences of other people. I mean, I'm seeing so many, during this whole pandemic so far, I've seen the post of so many people like bashing another person's decision on what they want to do in terms of whether they want to stay in or go out. And there's no room for disrespect. Now I know that probably staying at home is probably the best choice, but if you want to stay at home, don't bash people that want to go out. If you want to go out, Don't bash people who want to stay at home. It's just that simple. Respect other people's decisions and stop making yourself look bad by bashing them. Remember, we're all in this together, folks. This pandemic is affecting so many people. And, I mean, a lot of folks have, more folks have recovered than there have died, but still, this is a very horrible and very serious thing. And I think we need to, the only way we're going to get through this, just like it's the same thing that we're going to, is love. And that goes for any level of adversity that we may experience. It's all about love. Even when we can't be apart, we have to check on people. Let them know that we care. Just love. That's all I have to say. All right, I'm Victor Nunley on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 311. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.